back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee,
I'm E.
and today's video is about artistry, or, well, someone's art, and how people just really ain't vibing with it. Okay, guys, so apparently, King Charles recently unveiled the first official portrait of him since the coronation, and people have mixed reactions to it. So we found an MSNBC article that kind of dives a little bit into that. And, of course, we're going to give you opinions because we always have opinions. So take it away.
All right, so this article is from Clarissa Janlim, and the title, don't come for me, this is the title, like for real. We'll tag the reference article in the description
Yeah.
box. Looks like he's in hell. King Charles's portrait sparks mixed reactions. Jonathan Yo, the artist, said that the king had seen the portrait in a half done state and seemed mildly surprised by the strong color. So,
Okay.
King Charles's first official portrait was unveiled at Buckingham Palace on Tuesday, I guess May 15th. I know we're a little delayed. We had a lot going on, guys. All right. As is expected for a portrait for the head of state, it's heavy on symbolism depicting Charles with a stoic expression, his hands clasped over the handle of a sword, and an endangered monarch butterfly over his shoulder. But the painting's most immediately striking and divisive feature is the bold red tones Charles's uniform and the background have. Painted by British artist Jonathan Yo over 4 sittings, the portrait reflects his signature style where he places greater emphasis on capturing the character and essence of his subjects rather than replicating their literal appearance, Yo's website states. Art historian Richard Morris praised the portrait, and the BBC described it as vibrant. But the painting elicited a less positive reception from the public. Some compared it to the Ghostbuster villain, Vigo the Carpathian. I haven't
I
watched
guess.
Ghostbusters in a while. All right. Others noted the overwhelming redness of the painting. One Instagram user commented that Charles looks like he's in hell. Another wrote, it looks like he's bathing in blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yo told the BBC that the king had previously seen the portrait in a half-done state and seemed mildly surprised by the strong color, but otherwise he seemed to be smiling approvingly. As royal portraits go, this one is at the very least not uninteresting. Yo also joked to the BBC about his work, how his work would be received. If this was seen as treasonous, I would literally pay for it with my head, which will be an appropriate way for a portrait painter to die, to have their head removed. On the Instagram page, the royal family Instagram page, it was said it was a privilege and pleasure to have been commissioned by the Drapers Company to paint this portrait of His Majesty the King, the first to be unveiled since the coronation. When I started this project, His Majesty the King was still His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, and much like the butterfly I've painted hovering over his shoulder, this portrait has evolved as the subject's role in our public life has transformed. I do my best to capture the life experiences and humanity etched into any individual sitter face, and I hope that it is what I have achieved in this portrait. To try and capture that for His Majesty the King, who occupies such a unique role, was both a tremendous professional challenge and one which I thoroughly enjoyed and am immensely grateful for. What do we think about the painting?
I mean, I was pretty surprised when it was unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of blood. I thought of fire. I thought of revolution, and not in a good way. Um, yeah, it took me several times of looking at it on different occasions to realize there was even a monarch butterfly in the painting. Um, it's a striking portrait, that's for sure. And I've seen my least favorite comment that I've seen that some people have echoed is that Charles finally got what he wanted and he looks like he's um a, oh, this is gonna be disgusting, guys. So
Hmm.
many years ago, decades ago, there was a phone call that Charles had with Camilla, that had, like, it was recorded and it was leaked. And in the phone call, he's telling Camilla that he wishes he could be her bloody tampon to stay inside of her.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I wasn't ready. Are you sure he said this?
it was a leaked phone call. Yes, ma'am. This is a phone call between then Prince Charles and the mistress Camilla, because he was, I believe, still married to Diana at the time.
You gotta give me
I
a heads up when you say stuff like this because I wasn't ready.
well, I don't know if he was still with Diana or not, but I don't think they were divorced yet. I don't know. Anyway, point is, some commentators were saying he finally got his wish. And I was very disturbed by that because I couldn't take the image out of my head after that. And so every time I see that portrait, that's what I'm going to think about. What did you think of the portrait?
I actually really loved it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because what's supposed to stand out stands out. I didn't even see the butterfly till 3 seconds ago, to be honest. And I've been looking at this portrait for a while.
Yeah.
What stands out is him, his face. Everything else is the background. So I really loved that. I loved the color red because it defies the odds. It's not your typical painting where you're just
Yeah.
posing and very, structured and things like that. This, like, to me, evokes emotion. Be like, oh,
Really?
like you really want to see this. The only thing that I don't even want to say that I didn't like is how and I know this is going to sound contradictory, is how his clothes really does blend into the background. So if you're like quickly glancing at it, you see his face and red.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just would have liked a little more definition on, I guess, the lines just to make sure that, hey, it's just not his head floating somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is at quick glance. Obviously, I'm looking at it and, you can see the close detailing. But
Right.
just a little more detail on the clothes, like a little more outlining. And I think this painting is perfect to me. I have seen the comments, talking about a lot of, British history
Hmm.
and, conquering places and things like that. So there have been a lot of mixed reactions to it. But
Right.
I really liked it.
I think from like an artistic standpoint, it is a very striking portrait. I think that after the shock, I thought it was a very creative portrait, one that I don't think I've ever seen from a British monarch. Um, so I did like that because I know how much Charles has talked about modernizing the monarchy and all this and that. And so that was a very different take and a different, I guess, modern sort of artistic take on a king's portrait. So from an artistic standpoint, I did like it. I thought it was very striking, and the color, I can see how it evokes emotion. Um but like in a lot of ways it for me it was kind of more like a little bit of a negative emotion. Kind of like he seemed angry, instead of more regal and inviting, which is what a lot of these monarch portraits are supposed to represent, right? Um, but but yeah, no, from an artistic standpoint, it's a very interesting portrait, and I like the direction that the artist went in.
Yeah. Okay, so I went to the royal family Instagram page. So as you guys see, I'm here. It's not me. I'm about to read some of the comments because I comment creep. Um, they're all mean. So if you don't want to listen to it, fast forward a little. Like I'm scanning them. So
Yeah.
and like the article said, one person said, "I'm sorry, but this portrait looks like he's in hell. Another person said, without sounding rude, this is the worst royal portrait I've ever seen.
Ooh,
Another one said, is he bathing in blood? A lot of them said what you said about
the
the
tampon.
tampon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of it is talking about colonialism. It looks like he's going straight to hell. Horrible. 100% thought this was a satire. Was the red paint on sale? I honestly thought this was a joke.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, a lot of people saying they don't like it. Somebody said, I am a portrait artist. This looks like an unfinished portrait and disrespectful to present to His Majesty.
Oh my gosh.
Bloodbath, red on red was a bad choice. Somebody said, I love the portrait. It's beautiful. So for every 10 negatives, we have one positive. Awful
Yeah.
painting. Painting is absolutely spectacular and so sophisticated and strong. Congratulations to the artist. Um, so again, like the article said, a lot of mixed reactions to it. If you guys don't believe me, go to the Instagram page and read the comments yourself. This is what's popping up. But I really liked it.
I think, okay, so like my final thought on it, in 20, 30 years from now, I think people are going to love it. I think it'll be a much different perspective. Let's not forget that the British subjects tend to be a little bit stuck in their ways and don't like to see things changed up in the monarchy. And yet, here is Charles, your king, trying to bring y'all into modernity, but you want to be haters about it. Anyway, that's it.
We're going to end this here before you jump my best friend. All right, guys, let us know in the comments. What did you think about the painting when you first saw it? What did you think about the painting when you saw it the fifth time? I'm
Yeah.
interested to see, did your minds change? What did you think about the color red? Did you even notice the butterfly? Do you like the symbolism of it all? Do you think it was just too striking and you wanted something a little more regal, like, other paintings? Let us know in the comments. But that concludes today's video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends could be our friends so we can all be friends. We also have social media, which they'll tell you about.
We are on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. You can also listen to the videos in podcast format via YouTube Music and Spotify.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.